What's up, y'all, and welcome back to Dad Needs to Talk. I'm your host, Robert, and today I am joined by two very awesome friends of mine, T and Issa from Manga Brownies. What's up, y'all?
Hey,
Hey Robert, how are you
thanks for
doing?
having us.
Yes, I'm doing well. How are y'all doing?
Great, great.
It's been a very productive and awesome day for Manga Brownies.
Yes.
Yes. So, just a little bit of background for the people from me. So, I don't remember like the whole path of us finding each other or connecting, but pretty much like ever since we did connect sometime last year, it's been like constant conversations of like, okay, we need to do something together, do a stream or podcast, something, and the idea just like every couple of months is like, hey, just a reminder, like one of us to do a reminder to each other, like, hey, just making sure, hey, someday you still good. And
Yeah.
so what's kind of led us to today is that, you know, with me kind of having my 1 year anniversary of doing this, and I know y'all are pretty close to it being close to a year for y'all as well, correct?
Yes,
In
yes.
July.
July. Yep.
Yes. So, with the passage of time and kind of like, learning and figuring out things over time, or whatever, I've been trying to experiment and play around with new ways of how I'm presenting my content and things of that nature. As people that have watched my videos at least for like the last like week or whatever have seen me do like a new intro video, new backgrounds, yada yada yada, and me saying all that is to say that I have had the idea of the theme visual consistency, because that is like the word that kind of came to mind every time I thought of y'all and y'all's page and content was visual consistency. And kind of the reason why I wanted to shuffle things around and talk to y'all sooner than later was because I was like, okay, y'all are doing some very awesome stuff. I love everything that y'all do. And I was like, I don't want to wait another month or so to have this conversation. I was like, because I was like, I feel like this is a conversation we need to have now, because it could help me as well as potentially anybody else that's out there listening and watching. So I'm trying to think where to start. So I guess we'll kind of start with what is Manga Brownies first, and then we'll kind of, backtrack from there to who you are uh, independently and stuff. So who and what is Manga Brownies?
Yeah, so basically, just like our bio says, we're two brown girls that have like a love for anime, manga, everything in between. And
Mm-hmm.
some of those everything in betweens are like web comics, cosplayers, things of that nature. And we just wanted to share our recommendations and our love just for the anime manga community in general. So
Mm-hmm.
we both really have a passion for reading, and we just want to give everybody recommendations and hopefully connect with more people in the community.
Yes, for sure, and that is definitely something that y'all have been doing and continue to do. Uh, just because y'all are always giving the recommendations. A mix of newer series, older series that I've never even seen or heard of.
That's good.
But exactly, because it's like, there's a lot of us in the community and stuff. And so, of course, there are those certain things that, most of us have in our collections or have watched. But I think that's kind of what also makes the community that we're in very awesome and special, is that everybody can bring new ideas or new series and stuff uh, to the community to kind of share, and like, hey, I have this hidden gem that I don't see nobody talk about. So let me put you onto some good stuff. So I guess we'll kind of take a trip down memory lane, and kind of build back up to, how we got to Manga Brownies. I guess let's start with Issa. What is kind of your history and background with anime and manga?
Okay, so I guess we can throw it all the way back to, cartoons on Saturday mornings when we were
Mm-hmm.
growing up. Um, whatever was on, what is it? Cartoon Network.
Mm-hmm.
So, you grew up watching Sailor Moon, you grew up watching Dragon Ball Z,
Yeah.
those, and then I feel like after that, I've always been interested in animation. I've always loved animation,
Mm-hmm.
and I've always loved to read.
Mm-hmm.
So, as I got older, I started to delve into comics first. I was watching a few anime, not much, but then by the time I got into high school, that's when I started to watch anime, and I was
Mm-hmm.
starting to read manga. And in the middle of the pandemic,
Mm-hmm.
it became a full blown hobby of
Yeah.
collecting, because I hadn't collected before then.
Okay.
And I would just read, go to the library and get manga, comics, etc.
Mm-hmm.
And then anime was the same way. You can just, watch it on Hulu and those websites that were available.
Mm-hmm.
But I have always been an avid reader. One of my degrees is in English literature.
Nice.
So it was like bound to happen. And
Yeah.
I think of it like a pipeline. I feel like once you start reading, it's like you get to anime, and then from anime you get to manga, webcomics, and then it just like all pulls together.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
So definitely, I am the one who pulled you into webcomics.
Yeah.
Because I find webcomics easier because they're a little more accessible because it's online,
Mm-hmm.
and
Mm-hmm.
it's a little more affordable than manga. So
Mm-hmm.
that's where my love for webcomics came from.
Okay.
But that's how I came to Manga Brownies.
Awesome. And UT?
Yeah, so I'm the oldest of two younger brothers, and my
Okay.
dad, my brothers, and I, from, gosh, I can't even remember when I was just so young. We always watched anime together.
Mm-hmm.
I remember staying up late at night watching Toonami. Like,
Yes.
I started very, very young, and I remember watching some of the classics like Astro Boy with my dad because he was into some of the older stuff, and really liked animated shows and films just at a very young age.
Mm-hmm.
Played video games growing up with my brothers, and just kind of like Issa, the pandemic hit, and it was always my goal to start collecting manga.
Mm-hmm.
I also read a lot online. There's like a ton of apps that you can read manga on, and I was like, once I get like a nice big spot, I want to have like wall-to-wall shelves because I would see all these people online with all these beautiful collections.
And she does.
And yeah, and Issa, like she said, she got me onto webcomics a little bit more. I had dabbled a little bit, but
Mm-hmm.
it was just another venture that I was excited about. And then just cosplaying, we're very new with that, but
Yeah.
I asked Issa, like, hey, let's go to these cons and let's just cosplay, let's just try it out. And everything, like she said, it's like a pipeline. You get into one thing, and then what's the next thing that you want to hop onto? So it's just been this nice little journey that we've been on together, getting into all the different facets of this community. So
yeah, for sure. That is very awesome. And yeah, I feel like with the last couple of years with the pandemic and stuff, it definitely feels like a lot of us that were into manga a little bit, that just like fully just like grabbed us by the collar and just pulled us in.
Oh yeah.
Because it's like, well, depending on your situation and where you might have worked or lived or whatever, it's like, well, I'm gonna be kind of stationary for a while, need something to do. Oh, why not just start collecting these manga and stuff? And I feel like while the circumstance that led to us doing that may not have been the best, I think that it's kind of helped a lot of these companies and stuff kind of see like, hey, a lot of people love manga. Y'all need to, as for everything from like making sure y'all printing more copies, licensing more series, all that stuff. And so, cause even myself, I just started like really collecting just a year ago when I started doing the podcast and stuff. And I feel like, collecting is more than just, oh, I want to just have a bunch of books in my physical space. It is also a gateway to kind of help us all explore and discover a bunch of new stuff, because honestly, I feel like, at least, for myself, there's so many series I would have never even seen or heard of if I just stuck to just reading what I was reading online and through the different apps and stuff. Because when you're physically going out and buying books and stuff, you're browsing the shelves and it's like, okay, I might be going to the store specifically to get a certain series, but hey, while we're there, we always take some time and browse around.
Always.
And
Don't take too much time.
yes, and then you'll find either a cover that catches your eye or a title seems interesting or whatever, and and then we take that, we bring it to our pages, our channels, podcasts, whatever, talk about it to more people, and it just kind of keeps the cycle going, and things of that nature. So I guess but before I get to the true formation with Manga Brownies, what was kind of like y'all's first or favorite kind of like manga that like really hooked y'all into like reading manga?
Oh, this is so hard.
Good question.
It was most likely a shoujo of some sort.
Mm-hmm.
I think for me, it was probably Fruits Basket.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think it was necessarily the first, but it was one of the first ones I read where I watched the old rendition of Fruits Basket anime.
Yeah.
And we didn't get a season 2 because
Mm-hmm.
they reprised it a couple of years ago.
Mm-hmm.
And I wanted to know what was going to happen at the end. And then I realized, oh, there are manga out here that just already have the story completed, and the anime is way behind the manga.
Yeah.
So that was the first one I really remember reading and being like, oh wow, like I can read the whole ending. I already know how the show's gonna end.
Yep.
Oh, I got it.
Yeah.
Around High School Host Club.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yep.
Shoujos.
Shoujo pulled me in young. I watched the anime and I was like, I need to know the rest.
Yep.
Yeah.
And so
That's
I
how it
went to
was.
the manga, and it has a satisfying ending.
Yes, it does.
Mm-hmm.
But that was a gateway to a very, very time-consuming hobby.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and like for me, it was Naruto, cause same thing to where I was watching it, and then cause I'm pretty sure I probably have talked about it before, but for me, Naruto is kind of like the series that kind of got me started both with not just reading manga but also watching subtitled anime, cause it was like, okay, I'm tired of waiting week to week for it to come on Saturdays on Toonami, and then it's like, oh, there's places online that have the sub and they're hundreds of episodes ahead. So I started, getting used to doing subs, and then eventually I caught up with that, and I'm like, crap, now I'm waiting week to week again. And then it's like, wait, there's another step beyond called manga. And that kind of yes, because I feel like for a lot of people that's usually the kind of like way that gets a lot of people into manga is that, okay, you watch the anime that you never knew if it was going to have another season, or it ended in a way to where it was like, man, I know there's got to be more out there to this because of how it might have ended or whatever. And then you kind of start doing your research and it's like, oh wow, there is way more. And like you said, it's like a lot of times it's like, hey, this series has been done for years. Because I even think about how like now with Demon Slayer, for example, like, okay, season 2 just came out end of last year, this year, but it's already been 2 years now since the manga ended, which is crazy to think about. And same thing like with Haikyuu, that ended 2 years ago as well, and we're still waiting for, I think that'd be season 5, I think, of the anime to come back. And so so for me it's like I know some people are just like, hey, no, I'm only gonna stick to the anime. Come hell or high water, anime. But for me, I'm just like, but there, if you want to know more, it is there.
Yeah.
So, but hey, we can't force everybody.
No.
No, and I pick and choose. for certain anime, I'm like, I'll read the manga. For others, I won't.
Mm-hmm.
Because I think that the anime will be better. And
Yeah.
that is actually what I'm doing with Demon Slayer.
Okay.
I would rather watch the anime.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Same.
I know what happens in
Yeah.
the manga. I'm
Yeah.
just choosing not to go in depth with it.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. That's understandable because I've definitely done that with some series as well, to where it's like I'm interested in knowing more, but not so much so that it's like I'm okay with waiting.
With waiting,
You know,
yeah.
yeah. We all kind of, I think, probably have a series or two that's kind of like, you know what, I will wait for you.
Oh yeah.
like
Absolutely. Yeah.
like a lost love. Like, hey, I'll wait for you.
The one that got away.
So coming back around with, you know, y'all both, you know, grew up watching and reading manga, and then started coming together. The formation of Manga Brownies. How and when did that begin? Like you know, what was it? One of y'all's ideas, or did both of y'all kind of like come to the conclusion together? Like, what's the story with how this all came to be?
I love to tell the story because it's so. Okay, so me and T actually met online on Bumble BFF. Have you heard of that?
Yeah.
Yeah. So basically, we were just two pals looking for anime and manga friends.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And so, but we hit it off online. We got dinner like twice.
Yeah.
And we were just texting, always talking about what we're reading, what we're watching. And one day, T just goes, I want to make an Instagram just to post what we're reading. Like, I don't really want to do much with it.
Yeah.
And she was like, is that weird? Do you want to do it with me? You probably don't. And I was like, yeah, let's do it.
Yeah.
Let's do it. It was totally on a whim.
It was so random, and I was like, man, people make Instagram pages for literally anything.
Yeah.
And I really had no idea that all these people had all these large pages. I maybe followed a couple.
Yeah.
But I was just like, it'd be fun just to put out there what we're reading. If we get some followers, we get some followers. And it's definitely gone from passive to very active. Like we say we weren't gonna do anything, but we're just seeing all the potential and all of the ways that we could grow, and we're definitely not quitting our 9-to-5 anytime soon. No, but it's something that we are absolutely passionate about, and we are very conscious about what we're putting online and how we're communicating and interacting with everyone online. So, but no, it was just really great. I just had a thought, and she was all in, and we had our notebooks at dinner, and we started brainstorming.
It all started on a piece of paper,
and I just knew, just on a fundamental level, like I didn't know Issa's full background, but immediately I knew like she was 100% an ally for minorities, especially the Black community, and she makes that very clear, and she's very vocal about that, and I really appreciate that. You know, just someone who is not a Black woman, that she appreciates that and understands that struggle. So I was like, let's see if we can create a safe place for all minorities. Like, let's do this together. And that really, outside of manga, anime, and all of that, like, I really love that the most. So she's my road dog. So
here's my arm.
For life.
No, definitely what we wanted was, we see so many anime and manga creators that don't look like us. And we were like, all right, let's take this and run with it. Let's see if we can create a space where people who look like us are included, and not just minorities. But it's just a space for everyone to feel welcome and everyone to feel like they have a say.
Yes. I love that. Just because of the fact that, you know, like you said, it's like, you know, doing something. I'm trying to think the best way to say it, I guess, you know, from a place of genuine love and interest. Because, you know, it is kind of interesting, like y'all said. But before I started doing this too, it was like, you know, I know there's people out there, but it's kind of like, wow, there's a lot of us out there.
A lot.
Yeah, and so I feel like as each passing day more and more people, we continue to find each other and stuff. And, we continue to grow and to, network and, it's like, oh, hey, here's my friend over here. Hey, so-and-so meet this group over here. Or, hey, this group meet that group. And it just keeps building and growing from there. So, but yeah, I definitely love that about y'all's page. And the foundation that it was built upon. So the name Manga Brownies, how did y'all come to that?
All right. So it's a double entendre. It has two meanings.
Mm-hmm.
Two. There's my hand. Like half my body is cut out. Okay. So Manga Brownies is because even though she's black and I'm Indian, but we identify as brown women.
Mm-hmm.
So we're like, all right. Manga, because we love manga, we were like, we have to make an account that has manga in it because that's what we want.
Yes.
And then we had like this list of random weird brown girls or like something.
Yeah.
How can we do this?
Yeah, they started to get pretty lengthy.
Yeah.
They were all sounding Anyways.
Yeah.
So we're like, okay, but we also want to give reviews.
Mm-hmm.
So then how about we also give our reviews brownie points? Because you give things brownie points, and we're like 5 out of 5 brownie points for some of our reviews.
Yes.
So then we were like, Manga Brownies, 2 brown girls who love manga, but also we're giving brownie points to good manga and webcomics, anime that we're reviewing.
Nice. Okay. I like that. I like that. That is, and you bring up the brownie points thing also is, like you said, like it's a nice play on words and like kind of giving it multiple meanings. And plus it's just catchy to say too, and it stands as Manga Brownies. Awesome. So with Manga Brownies, y'all launched it summer of last year, or I guess like how long was it between y'all coming with the idea and then it kind of going into actual action? Was it kind of like almost immediate, or was it like some months until like, okay, let's kind of plan some stuff?
Yeah, no, it was immediate.
Mm-hmm. The day we decided we went to dinner, we created an account.
Yep.
We created a Gmail.
Yep.
Yep. We uploaded something about reading manga, and then we're like, oh, we've started.
Yeah.
Nice.
And at first we were real loose with it. We were like, hey, we'll just post whenever, and then we realized, okay, we kind of want something structured, but we're also very type A, so it was bound to happen anyway that we were going to have like a plan of some sort.
Yeah, we were definitely lying to ourselves.
Yeah.
When we said that we would just post whenever.
No.
It didn't even last.
No, it didn't last long.
Yes.
We have a schedule.
Yes. And y'all definitely do, because I was going through, so I have y'all's page up on my other screen, because I kind of started to see, my laptop is like loading up the page slowly, and granted y'all have made a lot of posts too, but I could kind of like start to see like over time where themes and stuff started to kind of come together with
you can definitely see. You can see our growth.
And so with that, I guess I kind of want to transition into like I said, kind of like the main thing I want to talk about is the theme of visual consistency. So like I said, like looking back over your page over the time and year or whatever, and starting to see that, okay, now I'm seeing specific kind of like templates and stuff, like, okay, you have your webcomic Wednesday, your the template you have like for like the Saturday morning AM, so on and so forth. So how did y'all kind of get to that point of like having like those themes and the templates and all that kind of stuff?
I think the biggest thing is, now that we're seeing how big the manga anime community is, a lot of pages, and this is no diss on anyone else's page, look kind of similar in a sense. Like, people are taking pictures of what they're reading, or they're doing screenshots of the anime that they're watching, and I think we just wanted a nice visual way to catch someone's eye to say, like, hey, this is our page that kind of stands out different from everyone else's. And then we wanted to kind of coin some phrases like the webcomic Wednesday. I think that's a very niche thing that we're kind of getting into more.
Yes.
We are not the first person to recommend or read webcomics.
Oh yeah.
But just in general, we don't see a lot of pages that are kind of doing reviews on a whole slew and diverse number of different webcomics. I think a lot of people tend to steer to certain genres of webcomics that they like, or certain authors. And then the anime, that was just something, I mean, we still love anime. So it's like, how do we make anime still feel important? Right. But we know it's an oversaturated thing on Instagram or any social media platform. So that's why we tried to do our little Saturday morning anime and coin that phrase as well.
It's just a play off Saturday morning cartoons.
Yeah, that was our little play.
Yes.
And Saturdays is lazy day. It's usually our captions are like, just rolled out of bed, it's still in my PJs, and this is what I'm just going to throw on. Or here's a good show if you just want something, something nice. And
we just wanted to differentiate ourselves from other pages. And honestly, at where we are right now, our goal is to make a brand for ourselves. And so they're going to change. Like, we're evolving constantly,
Yes.
And so I would say who we were 6 months ago, we are not the same already. So in the next 6 months, I think we'll only get better.
Oh, absolutely.
And so a lot of like our webcomic Wednesdays, it's, even though other people are sharing the same content, it's about how we're sharing the content. Nobody else is doing like the comic layout for sharing webcomics. Because in honesty, sharing one screen grab is probably not enough to pull somebody into wanting to save your post and saying, this is really interesting. So it's all about trying to catch your readers, your audience, but then at the same time, we want to create content that looks good and we'd be proud to share.
Yes.
Yeah, and not mention our manga. I mean, we don't have a template for that, but I think we're on the same page. We're not eager to just post whatever is popular or trending right now. Just because I'm sure you might open Instagram and whatever new manga volume that dropped that week, I mean, we see so many of our followers posting about it and doing great reviews. Like, that is awesome.
Oh, yeah.
So we try to just differentiation. Like, hey, let me tell you about this really old manga that I just happened to pick up at the local comic book shop and see if anyone else has read it. And, we try not to focus on likes or just, we just try to get people just to interact, to say, hey, this looks interesting. There's a review. We know people haven't read everything that we've read, but again, just that differentiation model that we're working towards.
And I like that we don't have a specific template for our manga because I think it highlights the manga more. If that makes sense. If we had templates all over our page, I think it would just look disingenuous.
Yeah,
and I mean, manga in itself, and I'm sure we can talk forever about this. I mean, just a lot of manga is just beautiful. Like, we really just love to take pictures of just the covers. They look so pretty. There's no need to just mess it up with more and make it noisy with our templates. So we try to keep those as standalone.
Yeah, for sure. Because that is definitely something that I was noticing when I was going through and looking, as like you said, like you have your webcomic Wednesday template, your Saturday morning anime template, and also like the play one for like stuff that you're watching. But then, like you said, like I do agree with you that how y'all present the manga always seems to fit that manga itself. Because with manga, in a general sense, like both of y'all just said, it's like they each kind of have their own style and personality, and kind of not restricting it to a certain box, so to speak, really gives it a opportunity to kind of like really grab somebody that might be scrolling through Instagram and come across the image. So I definitely appreciate, like I said, like y'all doing that for those series. Now with the different stuff, do y'all kind of like have stuff kind of like scheduled ahead of time, as far as like, okay, this Wednesday this will be this recommendation, or how much of it is kind of like planned out and scheduled, and how much was just kind of like, I woke up today, I'm gonna post this, and you know, and that's that.
Um, I think that's a part of where we're at right now, and just
Mm-hmm.
noticing our growth and
Mm-hmm.
just where we are, with how many recommendations we've given. Before we were fine, we just kind of alternate days, and we weren't stepping on each other's toes, and we're still going to do that. But we realized, like, wow, we've had how many manga posts did you count?
We have recommended 105 different series.
Different series,
Wow.
which means we have not yet duplicated any recommendation, which is awesome. But I mean, granted, it's two people running the page.
Yeah.
So a part of our planning today was, hey, let's get a nice spreadsheet put together. Let's put everything that we recommended, so then there's no question about it, because we recently got to the point where we're like, did we recommend this, or was that just in passing a conversation that happened?
Yeah.
But because we're assigned specific days of the week, depending on the week,
Mm-hmm.
there's never an issue of, oh, we're both posting at the same time or anything like that. So we work really well and we vibe in that sense.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's a little bit of planning, and then it's a little bit of, okay, like, it's your week, so you post whatever you want.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. See. I like that. See, we're working as a combined unit. Because you have wake up one morning, and was like, why is there 2 webcomic Wednesday posts today?
Oh, that would be bad. Yeah, that would be bad.
or hey, maybe to the general viewer, just be like, hey, both these series were so awesome that somebody couldn't wait until next week to post.
Yeah.
You gotta learn about both of these today.
Yeah.
Yes. Okay. That is awesome. And like I said, you know, I've definitely also kind of, you know, with my stuff, been trying to slow down and kind of like think about stuff, because you know it definitely is very easy to kind of get caught up in the community hype for, oh, everybody's talking about this new thing, I'm gonna talk about it too. But then it's just like, you know, it's like, yeah, okay, yes, the series is good, but let's change up the conversation a little bit. And so, you know, which is why I, you know, even like with my stuff, I always appreciate anytime I do a review for something and somebody's like, hey, I've never heard of this, or if it's like an unknown thing, somebody was like, oh, I saw it on a list of like upcoming series. Thank you for talking about it. Now it kind of gave me a little bit more information about it and stuff. So, and for me, that's a feel good feeling. And it kind of makes me want to continue to go out and hunt around and find those things. Cause I don't know if y'all ever do this, but me and Robert's brain, sometimes whenever I'm out and about, like in Barnes and Nobles or wherever I'm at, and I come across something that I've never seen, in me doing my research behind it, like, okay, you know, what is the series? How long is it? Yada, yada, yada. I will also search on YouTube just to say, okay, what pops up? And for me, I'm like, of the million people in the world, there is like little to no videos talking about my number one example. Everybody on my show probably gets tired of hearing Robert talk about example like Karate Survivor. Saw maybe like one other person over in the UK talking, put a video with it, but I'm like, of the millions of people in the US alone, I'm not seeing nobody, maybe one other person, but it's like, oh, is, you know, and you know, for I feel like situations like that, you could kind of like look at it in 2 ways. You could kind of look at it as like, well, nobody's not talking about it because it's horrible, or this is an opportunity for you to be the one to discover it and to, you know, bring it to people, because, you know, it's always kind of weird but cool in a way when it's like somebody, you know, you Google search for a series and like, you know, you see your name, you know, next to a review or something or whatever. So another thing, like with the, you know, aside from just the visual aspect of, you know, how y'all present it visually, like with the pictures or the templates and stuff, I also like how y'all give out information regarding the series. You know, you have the author, you know, and things like a slight description and things like that. Of course, you know, I haven't looked through every single post of y'all's, but Was that something that was kind of like always a thought, or did it kind of like over time y'all was like, okay, maybe we haven't been doing this, or we want to make sure we are including as much key information when people are checking out these series?
I think that we've always been doing it.
Mm-hmm.
One of our biggest fears is not giving credit where credit is due.
Yeah.
And so from the start, we've always been on the same page. We're like, we need to find out exactly who created this, where it's from, and they can be tagged, they should be tagged.
Yeah.
Because it's so unfair when we share things, or not us, but when people share things and can't find where it originates from.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. We've I'm sure you may have seen pages that might recommend things that they read online, and we're at a point where we have adult money now, so we can legally go out and procure these things and read them legally. But of course, I'm not going to sit up here and say I always read legally, but now that we are in this position, we're trying to do the right thing.
Yeah.
And especially with all the knowledge that we have now about how hard it is for some of these mangakas and some of these publishers, creators in general. Like, if I can just be that one person, and again, this is not a knock to someone who doesn't have the funds, because like I said, I was there, but if I can, and if there is a legal English translation, we are going to give credit where credit is due.
Yes, exactly. And I definitely agree with you, because there's even been like some series that are like super new in Japan that that haven't made their way over here, just because it's like, okay, it literally just started. There's only like 3 chapters online, and so it's like, crap. It's like I want to talk about this, and of course, like there have been situations where I have, but it's just like, it always sucks when somebody's like, hey, where'd you get it? Where'd you read it? And it's like,
puts you in a very hard position.
Yes, and it's like, well, it's not here yet. Maybe in a year. Yeah, because prime example, one that is kind of like slowly making its way through the community. It's a series called and I might butcher the name, but I think it's called Gachi Akuta. It's a series by the Successful. So the creator of the series, she is basically like the successor of the creator of Fire Force. So yes, so right around the same time that Fire Force ended a month or so ago, this series started, and then it was found out like, oh, the mangaka for this series, she worked on Fire Force and so, and she was given the blessing of the creator, like, hey, this is my protege, so to speak, in her new series. And so it's like, oh, cool new thing, but then also like, it's gonna be like a year plus before we maybe get something over here. So it's like sometimes it's like I'll read something to myself, and it's like, when the day comes and it's here, then it can be like, hey, yes, shouting from the rooftops.
A similar thing happened with Chainsaw Man's author and a manga. I think it's called Dan.
Yeah.
And everybody is talking about it. And while yes, I want to, be there and conversing with everyone, I just know it's not legal. It's not really fair.
Yeah.
That's not something that I want to be attached to Manga Brownies. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah.
Let's just keep it separate. Let's keep it quiet.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, it is exciting times, and I really hope Japan's publishers just kind of speed up with their English translations, because the fan base is huge over here, and we'll buy it. Like, people read it.
Yes.
People are willing to drop a lot of money on things that aren't even out of print.
Yeah.
Yes, exactly, because that's why I've kind of gotten in the habit now of like every week, like certain publishers, they'll kind of do like their post of, because I think like 7Cs, I think like every Wednesday they'll do like, hey, here's X amount of new series we've licensed. And so it's always just exciting, and I love just like glancing through the comments of people being like, oh, it's today the day they license X, Y, and Z, and seeing people just like celebrate, like, yes, finally this thing I've been wanting people to know about is coming and stuff. So definitely agree with y'all on trying to doing best to give credit where credit is due. With all these multitude of series. So with the posting stuff that y'all do, what is which one for each of you is kind of like the one that you look forward to doing every time you get to do it? As far as like the Webcomic Wednesday or the Saturday AM anime or Saturday morning AM post or
Okay, so for me, it actually depends on what I'm about to recommend.
yeah.
Like today I recommended Link Click and I was so excited to do it.
Link Click is awesome.
Link Click it's very underrated and
Yes.
it deserves all the hype. But yeah, it really depends on what I'm about to post.
No,
Yeah.
I absolutely agree. And we try to save, I would say maybe there's a slight edge on Friday manga posts, just because we try to put our heavy hitters on Fridays because according to our engagement, that's like when we have the most engagement. So it's like, hopefully we can recommend something and then it'll get a lot of people talking about it. And we've had a couple of Fridays that have just gone off so awesome. Just gotten a lot of people supporting, and a few times a couple of our followers will say, well, you guys recommended this and I also have this, so I want to give my review too. And then we're like, yeah, tag us, like let us know so we can repost, because we just want to share the love. So but it does depend on the week. There are some web comics that usually like will hit us and then we'll be like, this is going to be great, or an anime or a manga. So week to week it definitely varies for sure.
Okay. Yeah. I can definitely understand that, because it's like definitely sometimes like a particular mood thing, and like you said, like depending on what you've read or watched, it's like okay, so that's understandable that it's not going to always be one particular day or post or posting that that y'all prefer over the other. Something else that I want to touch on as well that I really have appreciated y'all doing over the months is y'all kind of having like different themes. So like for example, like Friday, y'all were doing like for Black History Month, y'all would kind of like be posting, your favorite Black, cosplayers, content creators, podcasters, so on and so forth. And then for the month of March, y'all did, all the awesome things that various women are doing, mangaka, artists, so on and so forth. So when about how long have y'all been doing that? Because like I said, I've noticed, or at least like been like really paying attention like the last few months. But like what was the thing that kind of like really started there, or the idea that kind of made y'all want to start doing like themed months?
Yeah, that was a 2022 thing.
Okay.
We started small.
Yeah.
We started small, like, we would be like, today is this special representation day. Let's post something on our story.
Yeah.
And then in January, we were just like, we want to put more time and we want to create more content that represents who we are and what we believe in as Manga Brownies.
Yeah.
And so we were like, okay, if we want to be creators that have a inclusive space and we want to celebrate everybody, that means we have got to pull in these new series on our stories and our Friday facts for our month representation months.
Yeah. And I'll say this was probably the most work we've done, but it was so just valuable, and we love doing the work because we actually had to make sure we did the research, verifying that the authors this is a female author. We're not, we don't want to misgender anybody, misgendering someone, or even Black History Month. There are not a lot of Black anime manga characters, and there's some ambiguity, and there's a lot of discussion sometimes on that. So we wanted to make sure, like, hey, this is what we found out. The mangaka actually said that this person is a Black character, or they're half Black, or whatever. And then we wanted to highlight the facts, and we learned so much, especially during Black History Month. I think Issa had researched that the largest consumers of anime and manga in the United States was the Black community, and that was surprising, not super surprising, but it was just like, wow, like what a great appreciation that our community has a love for anime and manga. Again, Women's History Month. I mean, there's just so much history there, and it makes you appreciate the manga, the web comics, the anime that much more.
I agree.
And that was a part of our planning process today. Just like, how do we keep doing this and making sure that we're giving it the time and appreciating, allowed to just shout out everybody. And on our actual posts, we don't post necessary cosplayers or some other things or like favorite characters, but we were like, let's use our stories for this. And every day you're going to get it. You're going to get it and you're going to see. And then finally, we've been starting getting feedback from people that are like, we go to your story post every day and we actually see who you're shouting out. And we try to hit big pages, but we also try to hit people like us who are just trying to build their brand, because if you don't have that support, how are you going to build it? And we absolutely shout them out, put their like, go follow them. Go like their stuff,
And I've noticed that it's working.
It's working.
I have seen that our followers are following the people that we are sharing. So it's working. The support that we are giving others, they're giving it back to us.
Absolutely. So appreciative.
Yes, for sure. And as somebody who has been on the receiving end of y'all, giving love and shout outs to, it is just very awesome as a creator, as somebody that is working on something, to just one day wake up being like, oh, Manga Brownies or whoever, mentioned you in a story, and then seeing, oh, they tagged you, and now people are finding you or connecting with you and stuff, and you can connect back. That is definitely something that I definitely appreciate y'all doing and continuing to do. Cause like y'all said, I know it's a lot of work, because as somebody that is doing creation stuff myself, it is just like going through my head of like, man, this is really dope. But I'm also thinking like, man, how much time did this take putting this together? Because with y'all doing those posts and stuff, do y'all have some of that stuff like set to schedule out ahead of time to like, okay, Tuesday, this and this, Wednesday?
Yeah, we would literally, for Women's History Month, just look at last month, for example, we took the 31 days. We wrote 31 cosplayers, 31 webcomics, 31 authors, 31 podcasters, 31 content creators that we love that are women, 31 whatever. And we had a shared document, and we would line it out. And if we ran into any hiccups or something, where it's like, hey, we're not really sure or whatever, we would do the research, get online, find another one that we may have read, another story or another person we've interacted with. And again, it's just sharing the love. Like, it's easy. It's easy to go and shout someone out. It costs us absolutely nothing.
Yes. Yes, exactly. And that is definitely something that I feel like more people are kind of starting to get to and understand, of just like, hey, even if you might not be able to watch the video yourself, it takes literally a couple clicks just to click on the post, reshare the stories, and then go about your day, to where it's like, oh, Manga Brownies posted a new thing, share, or whoever the case may be. Like you said, it costs you nothing but barely 2 seconds of your time to reshare stuff. So yeah, definitely doing a big part to help grow and connect the community. I'm trying to think, did y'all already say what the theme for April is yet, as far as like with your stories and stuff, or y'all haven't said it yet? If y'all haven't, it's fine. I won't spoil anybody.
Well, as far as like an awareness month, April isn't.
April is actually a break month.
Yeah, it's not an awareness month. In a sense, we have some other ones coming up, and definitely don't want to spoil the surprise.
Yeah.
But look out for May and June.
Yes, there you go. Those are two big hints. But April doesn't have. There are a couple of random days that we are going to make sure that we highlight on our stories. But as far as full months go, we've got some more for the rest of the year, and we plan to continue doing this.
And even if it's not like a themed month, we'll continue, highlighting and shouting out cosplayers,
Yeah.
other content creators.
Yeah.
At this point, it's just
Yeah.
we share what we enjoy.
Yeah. And I think the nice thing about Women's History Month was it was just more of a conscious effort to shout out these women because we follow so many pages and we interact with so many people. You know, sometimes Instagram, the algorithm will put some people above other people just because that's the last person you interacted with. So it forced us to go through our followers and actually like, oh, I remember them. Like, oh, they haven't posted in a while, but I love their content. Let's shout them out anyway. So it just forces you to be like intentional about finding these pages and interacting with them and showing them love and appreciation.
Yes, for sure. And I know because with y'all talking about, you know, like the research and stuff that you go into doing this stuff, I definitely understand like how much work y'all probably had to go that y'all did have to go into, especially with like some of the like mangaka and stuff, like finding out like, okay, what gender was this person, because a lot of times they might just go by, you know, regardless of, you know, they might not have their full name there. It might just be just a simple, just a handle or an alias or whatever. And it's like, okay, you know, isn't it, you know, who is this person? Cause even going back to, the person I was talking about earlier with the lady who's the successor, talk Robert, of the Fire Force creator. Back when that series got announced, it was a lot of things where people was like, hey, this new guy, and then somebody being like, no, but I heard this a lady, and somebody be like, are you sure? You know, so on and so forth.
Wow.
And
we
then
never want to misgender anyone.
Yeah.
We actually we ran into that before we started our Women's History Month with the author for Demon Slayer. And you will find a lot of misinformation labeling her as female, and the author is actually non-binary. And we wanted to make sure like that is not going to be one of our recommendations for this month, because we want to respect the author's wishes and that is what they want to go by. And even some of the content creators we shout out, if it doesn't explicitly say in their bio that they go by certain pronouns, that is the worst thing we could do for anybody.
It's offensive.
It's very offensive
to assume, you know.
Yeah.
And so we are very particular, very specific about who we're selecting. We're never going to be like, all right, you're this person, and we're going to post them. They're going to contact us and be like, how could you do this to me? No.
And if we ever do it, I mean, it would truly be an honest mistake, because we cross-check articles and websites. Like, we just don't go on Wikipedia and say, oh, yeah, they said that they were born female, so that's what they are.
Yeah.
You know, we try and find the right information.
Yeah. And especially, I feel like with mangaka and webcomic creators, they're very private. And a lot of them will just go by a pen name and you'll know nothing about them.
Yes.
You know, so we make sure that we're only finding ones that have a little bit of information out there.
Absolutely.
Yeah, sorry, because I was because I was trying to remember, because the reason why that had came to mind with the potential pen names was this recent one I read, Catch These Hands. The only name that they have on there is just Murata. It's just all it says there at the bottom. And so it's like,
they said, they said, just read my stuff and leave me alone.
Yes. And so definitely, you know, like I said, like commend y'all for doing that, because I even have some of these conversations sometimes with what's his name, Ash, behind Black Anime Podcast page, to where, you know, as I'm hunting around the interwebs or whatever, I've come across numerous, you know, podcasts and stuff, and I'll DM him like, hey, I found another podcast or whatever. And there have been a couple of times to where, like, you know, looking at images of the people and stuff where I'm like, are you black, or, you know, and so
I'm sure people mislabel Issa a lot too. Like they just assume we're black, and I like when we're having conversations with other content creators, I'm like, no, we're women of color.
Yeah.
We come from different backgrounds, but we definitely are inclusive over here. But I don't
Yeah.
want to undermine her
Yeah.
identity as an Indian woman, right?
Yeah.
Because that's not fair, and
Oh,
it's
yeah.
an easy thing to fix. So we
Yes.
just have to be careful when we're having these conversations with people. And then we, on the other end, there are some people who are people of color and want nothing to do with this conversation.
Yeah.
And that's fine too, because you
Yeah.
have no idea what their background is or
Exactly.
what they went through. It's like, I don't want to force this diversity and inclusivity like agenda on you.
Right.
Oh, yeah.
The way that we share it, I feel like we share it because it's who we are, and we're not trying to shove it down anyone's throat.
Yeah.
You know, I want it to come off natural, and I think that's what we do. But there are so many pages where, like, are they
Yeah.
a minority? Are they black? What is this page?
And it's a nice thing when you make the mistake thinking they are a person of color and they're actually white, but the way they're sharing our content is because they're a true ally.
Yeah.
And that's exciting because it's like, you know what? I thought you were black and I made an assumption, and shame on me.
Yeah.
But there are a lot of people, a lot of white people who follow us, and they are all on board with what we're doing. And that is also awesome in itself.
Yes. Yes, for sure, for sure. So I'm trying to think. I don't think I had like too much else to ask, like specifically with the page. So I guess, you know, if y'all still have a few minutes to spare, just want to chit chat with y'all as far as, like, you know, what are some things, or I guess, like, we'll start off like what is some stuff that y'all are enjoying watching and reading right now?
We're always talking about it, but it's Ranking of Kings.
Ranking of Kings.
Yes.
I was sleeping on it. I think T recommended it first.
Yeah.
I was like, I don't know.
I was too early of a mover. It was one of our posts that didn't do as well as I intended. But after I saw the first 2 episodes, I recommended it. It was too soon, and now everybody loves it. And I was like, ooh, I wish I had posted it later, but I love that we are all stans.
I love Ranking of Kings. The animation is so fitting.
Superb.
For the storyline.
Superb.
You know, at first when I saw like the trailer for it, I was like, I don't know what the heck this is. Is that? Oh my god, he's a Boji.
Boji.
Where did you get that? I mean,
and Kage. Yeah. So I have a friend that I've known her for many years. Shout out to Bree. And so I went down a couple weeks ago, just getting away, going because I hadn't gone to visit, you know, them in a year. And so Bree, like myself, works in the IT field, and she has 3D printers at home now. I knew like she had access to one at her job, but I didn't know that over time she has gotten them in her home. And so the weekend while I was there visiting, you know, her and her husband, we was just chit-chatting and stuff, whatever, printing up little stuff. And then she was like, hey, you know, is there anything that you want me to do or to see if I can find? And so I was like, you know, thinking about different stuff, whatever. I found this will be one that'll probably be coming later in the future because this is going to take some work to get done. But we found this very dope Vinland Saga design that it is, when y'all see it, I'll make sure I'll let y'all know, but it is super dope. But you know, found out, like, I will save that one, but then I was like Ranking of Kings, I was like, I wonder, is there anybody that's made some type of design or whatever? And we found this one. I think there might have been like maybe one other one, but we found it, and I was like, hey, can you print this or whatever? And she was like, yeah. So she printed it up while I was visiting one of our other friends, because I think that took like 7 or 8 hours to print up. But yeah, I was so happy when she texted me. She's like, all right, it's done. I came back and I picked them up. I don't know. I might try to paint him or something, because I know there's like little stuff you can do to paint him and stuff. And there's a little base that him and Kage go on that I got to get him on. But yeah, I had to show that off when y'all mentioned Ranking of Kings, because I've ever since I got it, I'm in love with Boji, my other son.
Yes.
No, for sure. Ranking of Kings has definitely been my favorite for the last year.
It's already moved into like my top 5,
Agreed.
which I don't think any anime has done that in the past. Like, I don't even know how many years.
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah.
For sure.
I think what else?
I'm currently watching Doro
Nice.
Hidoro. I keep mispronouncing it.
Yeah.
It's one of T's faves,
Yeah.
and I just started the anime a few days ago. I love it. I'm very much enjoying it.
Yeah. I need to go back and finish that one because I had started it. I didn't finish it, but I've been collecting Die Dark as well.
Yes.
And I've been loving Die Dark, and I'm like, okay, I'm really enjoying this. I'm like, I need to go back and
yes.
More than likely, I'll probably go back to that and like start it from the beginning and like go all the way through. But yeah. I'm enjoying both of those series.
Definitely watch them. Read the manga because I don't know if Netflix is picking it up for a season 2, which is kind of sad. But the manga is amazing.
It's good. Okay.
Yeah, I'm trying to think. Of course, like regular seasonal anime, which has ended now, like Attack on Titan. Case Study of Vanitas. I really love.
I need to catch up. I need to catch up. Yes.
And then My Dress Up Darling.
86.
86. Oh, there's another one I recommended and that fell flat. I thought more people would have watched it, but 86 is a really, really good mecha.
Yes.
And I cried, so I hope somebody watches it after hearing this.
Hey, I'm watching. I'm on like episode 3.
Yeah, she did pick it up.
Her and my brother have similar tastes.
Yeah, that's so true.
Yeah.
That's so true.
Yeah, so she recommended it to me, and I kid you not, 2 days later, my brother's like, "You need to watch 86."
Yeah. And then I think like manga, we're probably in between so many books. Mm-hmm. We try and read one together because we read just everything, whatever. Yeah. But Blood on the Tracks is our. Ooh. We love
need to start it.
We love the drama.
It's insane.
We love it.
Yes. I think that might be one that once I finish up, because I need to buckle down and finish 20th Century Boys because I literally have like 4 volumes left to finish that, and then I need to go on Blood on the Tracks because I've had volume 1 since last summer or something. You
probably need to get like 4 volumes.
I probably do because probably what I might do with that because I ended up going ahead and picking up volume 2 last month. So I think what I might do is kind of like series like that's where it's like, okay, I know I'm gonna enjoy it. Like every so often, just buy a volume every blue moon, and just so that whenever I do get to it, I'll have, a good amount to read. So,
without giving spoilers away, this is one of the manga that you'll read the fastest, just because there's not a lot of dialogue, and the author focuses a lot on facial body expressions, which carries the story. Like, don't knock it. But you can get through it in 5 minutes, and then you're like, it's over. But when you get through volume 1, just message us, DM us,
definitely,
and tell us what you think, because we know your reaction.
The emotions you'll feel, I don't think you'll have ever felt them before.
No.
Yeah.
That's the kind of Blood on the Tracks is truly a psychological horror.
Yes. Truly.
I'm trying to think because. I'm trying to think, did I read something else from that author recently?
Happiness. Have you read that? Or The Flowers of Evil?
Flowers of Evil is also by them.
Yeah.
No.
And there's something else.
Oh. Recently, and I don't think I even really talked about I even read this, but I have read Inside Mari.
Oh, no. Blood on the Tracks is...
It's like
top tier. That's not even going to touch it.
Mountains and mountains above it.
Yes. Yeah. Don't even compare the two.
Oh yeah. No, but I was just trying to think of like if I had read something else of his.
Yeah.
Yeah, but okay. But yeah, I'll definitely have to buckle down and get to that sooner. So, okay, awesome. So, last little thing is, what are some things that y'all are looking forward to? Regardless if it's like, this upcoming spring season or just in the future looking forward to reading or watching. What's on your radars?
Okay, looking forward to that's not reading or watching. So like a little.
No. I was saying including reading or watching. Sorry. Yeah.
Including.
Yeah.
Okay. So I am looking forward to interacting more with our followers
Yeah.
and like fellow content creators,
Yeah.
we have kind of been hesitant on going on lives, doing podcasts, things like that. We were kind of scared to share our faces because I said this earlier, but I was like, people are gonna throw tomatoes, like. And so we have been more open about going on lives, and we're delving into different types of creation.
Yeah.
So reels, TikToks.
Mm-hmm.
Today we just went on a casual live during lunch.
Yeah,
and
it's great.
We got a really good positive, like a very positive response.
Everybody was so sweet and supportive. Yeah.
Yes.
So we were like, okay, we have to do this more. We want to create more content with other other members of the Manga community.
Yeah.
Yes.
I think for me, there's so many things I'm looking forward to. More cons, going with Easter, more cons.
Oh yeah.
More giveaways. We love doing giveaways. So our 1 year anniversary, we need to.
We're trying to do it big.
Figure that out. We really loved our Christmas, or our holiday, I should say, December giveaway that went off without a hitch, and just grant like long term is just all the potential growth of what that we hadn't even imagined that this page could happen. Maybe this could become like some form of passive like income, like we start to venture into something where I don't know, I mean, people do it all the time, they're just very creative, and then it starts to become like a side job, and then some people it's their main job. But I think we see potential in just what we're willing to do, and kind of like we said, the community and interactions, like the sky's the limit. So I'm excited to see where this goes.
So
there's a place for everyone, you know.
Yes. So something I did want to just pick your brains on just to see like would this maybe be something potentially in the future, because like I said, like the whole theme of this conversation is the visual consistency. Would y'all ever, or have y'all ever thought about potentially maybe doing kind of like I'm trying to think, I guess like visual consulting, of being like, hey, here's my page, I need to figure out what's going on. Can you help me? Do you think that might ever be anything that you might be interested in potentially?
Honestly,
or
why not?
Yeah, why not? It's one of the things that really I didn't think was that special or was our strength until you kind of pointed it out and some other people have.
Yeah.
So I think it's really awesome. It's something that we do really good work for. I think we're starting to learn just the algorithm. We're really buckling down on that. We read a lot about Instagram and all social media's algorithms. So
how to hack the system.
Seriously, because there's a rhyme and a reason to literally everything. So I see how people get paid and make that a living to be those consultants, because it's a lot.
Yeah, for sure. And like you said, like kind of like talking about like how this stuff kind of works. It's something that I had brought up a while back when I had Moody Senpai on my podcast, and we was talking about during the self-care episode, and we was kind of talking about like sometimes us as creators do stuff intentionally that might seem weird, or people who don't do this type of stuff might be like, okay, why do they post that today, or whatever the case may be. And it's like sometimes it's like there is a method to the madness, sometimes, because I've mentioned this before, Tori, but it's like it might be a manga that I've had on my shelf for a while. It's like, okay, I'm gonna read it eventually, but then it's like, oh, volume 2 of this is coming out in the coming weeks, whatever. Okay, I'll go ahead and read volume 1, and I'll post my review up like around the time that volume 2 is out. So it's like, oh, people are going to be searching for volume 2 of, or volume 9 of Blood on the Tracks. Well, hey, here's my review of whatever of Blood on the Tracks. And it's you definitely got to learn it.
That's what we did with My Dress Up Darling. We posted our manga review the week the anime dropped. Yeah. So it blew up.
Yes.
Because everybody had already watched the first episode of My Dress Up Darling, and a lot of those people probably didn't even know about the manga. So there's a method to the madness. Mm-hmm.
Yes, indeed. So So, is there any other parting words or thoughts or anything that you have for the people before we wrap things up?
Oh man, I think we're just so appreciative of just the love, the
Mm-hmm.
support. I think when we started this page, we were nervous we were going to get a lot of like hate and people
Mm-hmm.
would be coming on there spewing just hurtful comments and
Yeah.
things about what we were trying to do.
We're
Yeah.
so worried.
We're
Like,
so worried, and we haven't. Thankfully, thank goodness, we have not experienced that, or we have just been blind to it. But
Yeah. Yeah.
the outpouring of love and just how this is truly a community where we all can get together, and just very appreciative for people like you that give us a platform
Yeah.
other
Yeah.
than Instagram to kind of talk
yeah.
and share what we're doing. And thank you to everyone.
Yes.
Thank you so
Thank
much.
you, Robert. Like,
yes,
this is
thank
an
you,
awesome
Robert.
opportunity.
Yes, for sure. And you know, kind of like touching on this point as well before we go, doing the video aspect, you know, whether it's the lives or, you know, video podcasts and things like that. Um, I also do feel like it is also important, you know, of course, you know, with people being comfortable to do it, but to kind of just show others out there that, you know, maybe looking for somebody else that looks like us or looks like them. There's okay, there is, you know, another you know, another Indian woman, another black woman, another black guy, a dad, you know,
Mm-hmm.
you know, a couple or whatever the case may be, you know, that are into the things that I'm into and stuff. So, you know, because, you know, of course, you know, growing up, we necessarily didn't have, you know, all these interconnected things with social media stuff like we do now. But still, just the fact of like, you know, somebody could be just searching through YouTube or Instagram or whatever and be able to see somewhat of a familiar face or hear somewhat of a familiar voice and it'd be like, oh, okay, it is okay for me to have an interest in this, to like this thing. And so that is definitely why, you know, when possible, and you know, if you know, if people that come on are comfortable with it or whatever, that I do try to have the video component of it to just know like, hey, we are out here, you know, see the awesome, talented, beautiful faces behind your favorite pages and things of that nature. So yeah, it's definitely a very amazing thing to be a part of, and definitely something that, you know, I kind of want to continue to do, you know, with my podcast and with my platform because I do of course enjoy, you know, talking about, you know, what I've read or watched for the week, but I also feel like having these type of conversations are sometimes more important because it's like, yes, it's a million people talking about, you know, the new episode of whatever or the new chapter of One Piece or whatever, but it's also cool to take the conversation beyond those things. So but yeah, so thank y'all for y'all's time. uh of course, to everybody listening and watching, I appreciate y'all sticking around and hanging out with us. As always, you know, I will have links to all of their social media stuff down in the description below. So make sure y'all go give them a follow, go check them out, and show some love. And so with that, we're going to head out. And as I always say, treat yourself to something nice, read some manga, watch some anime, play some video games, and live your best life. And I will catch y'all in the next one. Peace.
Peace.
Bye.
Bye.
Whoops.